Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me for the Advanced Skin Classic Masterclass. And it's advanced because we're going to see some things that maybe you don't see every day in the treatment room. So, if you are a skincare professional that uses the Skin Classic, maybe you use another device and you're popping in, you want to see what it's all about, what these advanced treatments are. Well, I'm here to show you today. And not only that, I'll have some giveaways too. And with these advanced techniques, you will definitely be eclipsing your competition. And you know what that means today, right, guys? Hey, Eric, nice to see you. And yes, everyone, if you're joining in, go ahead and let me know where you're watching from. Hey, Joe, I love seeing you. And if you want to get in on my giveaways, make sure that you pop into my RN Faces Facebook page because that's where when I spin, I'll be able to see your name and call out the winners. So if you guys, oh wow, there's so many of you. So let me just say this first. I want to show you what I'm going to be giving away. So hopefully you guys will stay a little more interested. You know, when we do a lot of these advanced techniques, some of them are around the eye. And around the eye, I do like to use numbing cream occasionally. So if the client has a lot of different things, I am going to use Neuromed BLT. So this is going to be a full box of Neuromed BLT that I'm going to be giving away at the end of the broadcast. Regularly sells for $239. It is on sale in my store at RN Faces, just FYI. And 99.9% of the time, I don't numb any of my clients for any of the irregularities, but sometimes around the eye, it can be a little tricky. So I like to have it on hand. Also, I'll be giving away some probes today. I'll be giving away the F12, which is so important with some of these advanced treatments. And these little F6s, believe it or not, they're tiny, but they're mighty when it comes to some advanced techniques. And I'm going to show you those all with video. And if you're popping in and you're like, wow, I got to get back to work, hey, no problem. This will be available in replay as well. But if you have any questions too, I'll be able to answer those through the broadcast. So I'll be looking. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. I'll be looking on the side here, and oh, thanks, Linda Ray, to see if there are any questions, and I can always stop and answer a couple pretty quickly. So I'm going to get going here because this is a pretty involved type of broadcast. So for those of you that have been using the Skin Classic, but you've seen some things that maybe you weren't quite sure of, or you know what they were, but you really weren't sure of the treatment, I'm going to show you how to go about always having the demos right in your back pocket. So as I move through here, one of the easiest ways, you guys, is to join my group. Now, if most of you out there already are in the thermolysis skincare for estheticians, that is where most of the magic happens. However, if you have been trained by us, RN Faces, then I want you to take a second, look up the Skin Classic Masterclass group, because that's where I house my little snippets, little bite-sized pieces of some of these advanced techniques, so that if you're in your office and suddenly somebody comes in for a consult on one of these advanced techniques, then you're going to be able to pull it up and review it, refresh it very easily. So, but you must be someone who's trained by us. I keep that just separate for my people. I have to do something a little special for them because they've done so many special things for me. Let me move on here. And show of hands, how many people here are in the Skin Classic Masterclass? Go ahead and give me a thumbs up or a heart. Let me know. And if you're not, make sure you dash over to it. I'm going to shrink myself up here. Let's see. Good. Okay, so I just want to refresh some of you who maybe haven't even seen the Skin Classic, but you've heard about it in all the Facebook groups and heard about our support and how great it is. But the proof really is in the before and afters. And as a provider and supporter of my Skin Classic providers, any of my videos, any of my before and after photos to my Skin Classic providers, yes, use them anytime you like. I don't want you to not use them. They're there just for that. So let me go and let you see a little bit about what the Skin Classic. Okay, all right, enough of that. Geez, what time? Whew. Sorry about that being loud like that. I couldn't hit the volume button, but we did have a question from Stephanie. Stephanie asks if the members in the Skin Classic Masterclass, I think it's 932 now. It does fluctuate. It was more than what was on that slide for sure, but that would be the group. Steph, have we trained you? Let me know. Private message me. Okay, so let me get going here. So that's truly what will let your clients know that you're serious about your Skin Classic. Those are great before and afters, but they're kind of run of the mill type of treatments, right? They're things that you've been doing forever, but you need to have something like this. And I have this in the group just last week. You can download it, use it in your social media, but that's what will make you lots of friends in the Skin Classic world are before and afters. Okay. So let me just refresh for those that maybe don't have your manual handy, but the manual is always in that Skin Classic Masterclass under files. So if you've misplaced it, you can't find it, it always will live there. So get back in the group, go to the files, you'll get the manual, forms, test, whatever it is that you want. But let's review the contraindications before we get into all of the treatments. So, any dermatological disorder in the area, if somebody has dermatitis on their forehead and sebaceous hyperplasia, you're not going to treat it. So, as well, a pacemaker. Most doctors will say it's fine to use, but it's just one of those things we like to have our doctors know that we're using an electrical current without being grounded. So that's the big trick. If you have to have a ground to have a machine work, generally they cannot have a pacemaker. Pregnancy, just one of those blanket statements. Lupus has different levels to it. So if somebody is really in a full blown lupus type of situation, no. But I let that be up to the doctor or the doctor's nurse. Just have them call the office. Accutane users, even after 6 months, I will always make sure we get an okay from the physician. Some like to wait a year. Melasma, this is a big buzzword in our group. Melasma, we never want to treat any client with melasma on their face. Now, if they had skin tags on their neck, I will happily treat them. But on the face, even if you were to treat their capillaries, you must know that they will turn a very dark red for a very long time, eventually go to where they were before you treated, but it might be months. You will have a very unhappy client. So you must know how to recognize melasma. And you can also view melasma under the derm light, but that's a very specific focused. You need to be able to look at a client and decide if they have melasma, or on your intake form, that must be a question whether they ever had it, because they may they wax and wane, and if they're waning at the time, then you may be treating them and not knowing that they still have melasma. So that's really important. I can't stress it enough. No moles, because it is a dermal irregularity. This machine doesn't treat the dermis, so you will still always have a mole. We're not permitted by insurance companies to even flatten them out. So we don't want to do that. And that's another great reason to pick up those derm lights and use them all day long. Any irregularity with a blood supply, which you will see with the derm light. So we want to make that very clear to our advanced users out there. And you never want to treat hyperpigmentation larger than the size of an eraser head. And we have videos on why that is. Just trust me, don't do it. And if you think there's anything else that comes to mind for a contraindication, always let me know, because I would add it to the list. And this is the Dermlight DL100. I had a few people message me, where can they get the Dermlight? And you can get it in my store. And I will tell you this, nationally, they're $435. Another company sells it on sale for $375. I have it at $299 all day long in my store. It's American made, a 5-year warranty. It's a workhorse. Every dermatologist has one of these. I'll show you what it can do in just a moment. Oh, Sarah, yay, I'm glad you're here. Winnie, Ray, I'm glad to see you too. Awesome. So you can always get that in our store. If you are somebody that's using another device out there, then you should have a derm light. And I do have trainings on the derm light. So even for my Skin Classic providers, if you're looking for more information, make sure you just go to our group and search derm light, and you'll probably come up with 3 or 4 trainings. So let me get moving. So we just all love our derm lights so much. I know we do. I want to show you a little bit of how this derm light can work and what. There we go. Good. Got it. So the derm light is something that you're always going to want to visualize certain things with your client. Here we're doing a mole. That's what that looks like. Now, this nice client, she's got a keratosis. And if you're not familiar with what keratosis looks like under the derm light, this is what it looks like. There's no blood supply in it. You can see the capillaries in the skin around it. Our skin is made up with millions of capillaries in the skin that you can't see with the naked eye, but can see with this. But what we're looking for is what we just saw in that mole. And there's a lot of you out there that maybe do tattoo removal. I, for one, have done it for years. And I would always want to visualize how deep the tattoo went, because there's different types of tattooing. Medical tattooing for laser beam radiation therapy might be a little deeper than the cosmetic or the traditional tattoo. So you can actually visualize the depth at which you may need to treat. It's great for hair restoration. If you can pick that same spot, and you will be able to take pictures of the hair growth, the follicles as they're protruding through the skin, and actually quantify that for your client. Here we'll see what a mole looks like. If you can see in that top corner, you could see those little tiny squiggles right inside that nice smooth mound. Well, this is a clogged pore. We love looking at odd things. And this spot here, was a dermatofibroma, and that is scar tissue inside of it. We get those maybe from a bug bite on the back of the leg, the back of the arm. They're very hard. We don't treat them with the Skin Classic, but this is a great way to tell your client, we can't treat that. Take a look at it, and you'll be able to satisfy. So when we're treating hyperpigmentation, that's not really hyperpigmentation. Look at that under the derm light. That would tell you to let the client know that that is deeper in the skin, and it's more capillaries that are shining through the skin that give it the appearance of being brown. And when you do that, you're nicely saying that you are not going to treat them with the Skin Classic, but please offer them other options. If you do heavier peels, if you do microneedling, those are the things that could help those things. The Skin Classic cannot. It does a lot, but not that. So, and I know just about every one of you out there has the derm light. So I've had some questions this week too. Well, okay, Steph, I do have a machine, but I wasn't trained with you guys, and I really want it. So we have options for you. If you have another machine that utilizes the same probes, the handpiece, you can use a K shank, or you can use the F shank, which is like right over my shoulder there. That's what we use, is the F shank. So the F12, the F6, and then the tag probes all fit into the F shank handpiece. And we do offer training. I have one-on-one training with me and 4 models in your chair, and we can definitely get you on track to use your machine. Maybe you inherited a Skin Classic. Maybe you purchased a pre-owned Skin Classic. They're workhorses. They'll live forever. So congrats if you do. And I do have options: the online training, or you can opt for the in-house training, which is $1,500. And we come to you one-on-one in your facility and sit down with you, and you'll do 99% of the work while we watch. Anyway, so there are just some nice options for you if you need that. Okay, so I caught a really big fish in South Padre, but the reason I have this picture here is not just to brag about my big fish, but with these advanced treatments, just like any other treatments, there are so many things we really need to think about. We need to think about the sun. We need to have our clients promise us that they will cover up when they're going out in the sun. Now, we're not doing exfoliating procedures like microdermabrasion, which is even worse. But when we go out in the sun, we can always wear sunblock, wear a hat, anything we can do to protect the skin during our healing time is super important. Also, when we're doing advanced treatments, we want to make sure that we let our clients know a few things. You know, if they're going to exercise, if they're going to run, if there's cross country skiers and they're using their arms, if they go to hot yoga, all of those things can affect our treatments, advanced or not advanced. If you're treating skin tags in the armpit, we have to let the client know that they will get red and sore looking, especially in the heat, the humidity, and if they're using their arms on a regular basis, versus the neck. When the neck is open to the air, they heal very easily. But in these areas of the groin, the armpit, if you are sweating too much, you are getting each crust way too wet, because with the Skin Classic, as you all know, we like to keep the skin dry. Not meaning dry like no moisturizer. You still must wash gentle with fingertips, pat dry, and use good at home skincare. And your esthetician, your skincare professional, your nurse will supply you with that. And when you're doing a big treatment, an advanced treatment, it is so worth it for your clients to use advanced skincare, not off the rack stuff that you know is safe for their skin, and make sure that they're going to adhere to the aftercare instructions that we have made with the Skin Classic. So let me see if there are any questions. Oh, thanks, Eric. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks, everybody. I know it's fun. So let's see here. Now let's kind of get to this. If you don't know, I am on TikTok, and starting like tomorrow, I'll be doing a lot of green screen treatment explanation. So this is just one that I have that I wanted to show you. So,
Well, what
oh my
have we got here? This is a condition called syringoma. And at this moment, we are treating it with the Skin Classic electrodesiccation. Actually, we're dehydrating these. That's why you see us put a little moisture on it. So it may look really like something you've seen on your clients, but maybe you thought it was milia, or maybe you thought it was cholesterol deposits. Well, in my upcoming live broadcast this morning on my RN Faces Facebook page, I will be going over all the details on how to recognize these and differentiate them between milia, cholesterol deposits, the best course of action for these irregularities that plague our clients. So I'm hoping that you'll join me and learn all there is to know about syringoma and the Skin Classic.
yes, so I'll have a lot of these videos to in TikTok. So if you want to get a quick explanation of some of the irregularities and treatment, but again, one of the very best places is to go is that Skin Classic Masterclass, where you'll get the snippets of treatment. And oh, you dropped your derm light, still works, but the button to push is missing. You know what? I will send you the warranty information. They're very good about fixing those types of things. They may just send you the part. Maybe you'll have to send it in, but they'll get that fixed for you, Andrea. No problem. Dermlight Company here in the US is top notch, one of the best companies I've ever dealt with, and have used them for over 15 years. So, yes, you can definitely do that. Okay, so when it comes to syringoma,
What have we got here?
this is a before and after of syringoma. And for those of you that have your before and after book, this is in the book so you can show your client what it looks like before, what it looks like, why it's healing. They will get a crust everywhere they work. And then you can show them the healed picture as well, so that they know what to expect, and will not really be bothered too much by the crusts around the eye. Things heal very quickly. I'll show you a video on how it's treated. Now, I have the advanced slide after this on the settings, but this was done on 25 with an F12, moistened with witch hazel, and a little. Treat it just like flat hyperpigmentation by tapping it, but you'll tap it just a little bit with a little bit more vigor. Um, Here we go.
Okay, so I have Sherry in the chair again. We're going to treat these syringomas, some of them that I didn't treat last time. So you could see them all through here, there, and this good cluster, but they look pretty darn good. Go ahead and open your eyes for me for a second. Good, and close. Perfect. So I'm going to just moisten these. She's had the treatment before, so she knows how it will feel. I'll give you a little touch here. Seem to be okay?
Mm-hmm.
Great. So you just hear the little witch hazel snapping. This cluster here. She did real well her first treatment. So there's no sparking, there's no smelling of flesh burn. These are just dehydrating these. You doing good, okay, Sherry?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
So you won't really see anything happen. There's no wow factor, but she will get a crust everywhere I work. And she was quite a trooper there. I believe I did numb her skin for her at that time because that was quite a bit of work. So, definitely is something that
Go
you
ahead and open
could
your
use.
eyes for a second.
And with the syringoma,
Close.
it's a little hard to see. So the eyelashes get in the way. That's why I have her open her eye every now and then so I could get a really good peek at what I need to treat. And pulling that skin down away from the eye will
This
reveal
is a very
some of
tender
these
area, but
as
Sherry's
well.
a real champ here.
So when you're working around the eye like this, you really want to come at the eye with come at the eye with a calmness. You don't want to rush and hurry to the eye. You want to let them know that you're confident. You want to pull that skin down, like see with my index finger. I can pull the skin out with my thumb to flatten it out a little bit more. And for those of you that do permanent makeup, you know that that may be a stretch that you would maybe use for the bottom eyeliner. Same here for the syringoma. And once your hands are plastered onto the skin, it really behooves you not to keep lifting because as either the latex or the nitrile can get stuck nice on the skin, if you keep lifting, the eye tears a little bit and it becomes slippery. So you don't want to have too much motion going on while you're working around the eye. The client gets a little nervous too. They like to feel your heavy hand leaning on them so that your working hand can also lean on them and slowly approach the skin. That's the best practice I can tell you to use around the eye, and you'll see some more eye treatments. But I did post this in our group, Thermolysis Skincare for Estheticians, today. And some of these that we're doing are not on the laminated guide because there's no more room, and these aren't done on a regular basis. So that's why I like to support you guys in my group, in my videos. But like the syringoma, I had it at 25, between 20 and 30. I did her at 20 to begin with. And I wasn't real happy with the results. I mean, I think she got a good result, but I went ahead and bumped it up a little bit more to 25. And then I just went a little slower with it and a little heavier handed with it. And we'll go through some of these as we approach the other irregularities. Now, xanthelasma, or better known as cholesterol deposits, great photos in our before and after book. But let me play a little of this. It's got some weird music. I'm going to try to turn it off if I can.
Not everybody's gonna think I'm cute and funny, and that's fine.
Okay. So we're treating it like flat hyperpigmentation. We moisten it and we're treating it in row by row. But you can see that I'm treating it with a little bit more vigor, just like you should for the, actually, no, that wasn't me doing it. That was during a training. So I was assisting, but somebody else was doing that and doing a great job, row by row by row, moving slowly so that it will all be completely treated. Now, um, it doesn't look like anything was being done. And that is just the nature of that. When the next day, it should be darker, a darker crust, not a complete dark crust, but it will be crusty looking. So you definitely can bump that to 25 to do it. And if the client comes back, and of course you're documenting with pictures, if the client comes back and there hasn't been much movement with it, then go ahead and bump it up another 5. And that way, you're treating safely. They've had these things for a long time. If you're like me in my office, I always have my clients come back for a follow-up treatment. My follow-up treatment cost is $25. I was just in a training yesterday and they charge $50. So you charge whatever you like, even if you have to, do it again. It's worth it to be conservative, definitely. And here, I don't think this is a video. This is just a picture of, I was doing it at an event, and I was doing it while the client was sitting up, no numbing at all, and the treatment went just beautifully. And so you don't always need to numb. So the xanthelasmas, cholesterol deposits, are done at 20 to 30, but I used 25. I like to tap in a very methodical grid. I'm all about being very organized, and you're going to go slower than hyperpigmentation and a little heavier, right? Hyperpigmentation, we're always super, super light, hardly ever want to see the skin dent. And of course, we're going to use some witch hazel. Okay, so one of my favorite things to do is to clean out a pour of Weiner and close it. Now, before I start this video, this client was the father of Marguerite Helwich, which she is in New Jersey, and he was a model for us. And this was her very first time doing this. So I say that because when you see these videos and you come across something, we've all had a first time. And if you've done something like this the first time in your own training, then you get it. It's easy to do, but you just must follow the directions. Let me show you how, and I think it will narrate for you.
In this video, you will see how the Skin Classic cleverly treats clogged pores and also closes them. We begin by using our F12 probe and inserting into the pore, not the skin, separating the core from the side wall. Once that is loosened, the extraction becomes very easy. Creating pressure from the bottom up will allow the material to come out generally all in one piece. This is done with much less trauma than other tools or techniques, as there is no bleeding, no band-aids. This Skin Classic training was done in Bordentown, New Jersey, the Skin Medic, with Marguerite Helwich. Already she is a pro at cleaning out these pores and setting this up to close permanently. When we permanently close these pores, we use the same probe, F12. Once this pore is completely cleaned and no residue, we will insert the probe into the pore, not the skin. We get to the base of the pore without any current, step on our pedal at 25, swirl out to seal this pore. This pore closed completely in 2 months. It is not always successful, but always worth a try.
So I don't know about you, but I could watch that every single day. Give me a thumbs up or a heart if you love watching that video. To me, I just love it. Marguerite did such a great job. So that is why we need that F12. That F12 probe is nice and stiff. You couldn't use the F6 because it's too flimsy. So having that nice stiff probe will allow you to really clear out that side wall of the pore so that you'll be able to go ahead and gently see how she gently came in like a volcano. She got under it. She didn't pinch it. She got under it so it would come up from the bottom, come out from the bottom up. So let's see here.
In this video, you will see how the skin.
So again, for the closed pore of Weiner, we didn't use any current at all, none, except to close the pore. So if you're closing the pore, yes, you must need it, but to clean it out, to clean out any open comedones, you're slipping the pore beside the core and you're separating it from the side walls. This way it makes extraction very easy. Sometimes they corkscrew right out before your eyes. Otherwise, they make it easy for you to do the extraction and it's less painful and traumatic to the client that way. So, okay, so DPN is not really a advanced technique. It's funny. We just got somebody that said, "Oh, I did my first DPN client." Well, DPN is keratosis. So if you've done keratosis in any shape or form, it is the same thing as DPN. It's in the same family, but it's more familiar to darker skin, Hawaiians, Filipinos, African Americans, where it's more familiar as well. So their aunts, uncles, grandparents have these types of things as well. So I'll just quickly, just a real quick run over how you will see that. Let me get to the right spot here. So we're just tapping, and I'm at 30 with my F12, and I did moisten it with witch hazel. So you all have seen this video probably, and you're all treating keratosis. So that's exactly what DPN is. And I just wanted to make that clear because some people think that this is advanced, but it's not. It's keratosis. A keratosis is a keratosis. It could be a big honking keratosis on the back or some keratosis on the face, but it's all the same. So don't be intimidated if you get a client with a lot of DPN coming into the office. It's something that will be easily and quickly treated. And this was the before and after of this beautiful gal. This was after her, I did do 2 treatments on her. So this was after her second treatment, I think. And she was just thrilled with the results. And for someone like this, I would see her probably every couple of years to do a little bit more cleanup as she will constantly have these pop up. And so I want to show you how you're going to treat milia like a pro. Milia can come in different shapes and sizes. You know, I've done video on it too, but some milia they don't require they do require extraction and some don't require extraction. And sometimes it's a little difficult to find or figure out, well, how much is too much? Anytime it would be like a pearl, I would definitely want to open that pore and extract. But you'll see how you can get through someone with a lot of milia. I had a bunch of milia treated at a training yesterday in Virginia Beach, and I don't have any cover up or anything on, and I don't really have too much crusting because we did it in an advanced way, and I'll get to show you what that looks like. First, here is an advanced treatment for milia around the eye. And the only reason it's advanced is because it's around the eye, because milia is milia. But when it's this close to the eye, again, I did numb under her eye, or did I? I did not numb under her eye. And so she was a real trooper. You'll hear her when she's talking. But, and just to let you know, I do use the tweezers with the little hook, and the camera makes it look like I was using it hooks down. I was using it hooks up, but it kind of is an illusion. So when you see this, you will see. So I'm going to slip this into the pore.
Might be a little uncomfortable doing that, but what I'm trying to do is get this opening. I'm done with the probe. So it's going to be manipulating this.
Okay.
So I just want you to keep your eye relaxed.
All right, as long as you're not shocking me, I'm probably gonna be pretty good with this.
Yeah. So I'm just going to take my little tweezer and relax your eye. There we go. That's kind of what you're going to feel. You're okay with that, right?
Yeah.
You're doing great. It's all coming out too.
Is it really?
So just relax your eye. There we go. You're doing great. Isn't she doing great?
So, as you can see, you need to remain calm when you're working around the eye. Less movement is best. Once you get that stretching hand holding the eye nice and tight, try not to lift it too much because the eyes do tear, and when they tear, it'll make everything slippery. So, and again, just having a calm demeanor, and you could see that the client was uncomfortable, but she was a trooper, and I did not numb her. Treating milia is my favorite treatment. Oh, Sarah, I love it too. I just think it's something that bothers people so much, and it's such an easy treatment. Here is, oh, not that one. Okay, so, I must be out. I have another thing, but let's do a few skin tags. Okay.
Touch
So-
right in the center. Be there.
So when we do our skin tags,
Done. Completely done. Now this one's a little larger, right?
Yes.
So you want to go soft when you go to touch it, okay? Touch it, no, okay, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Pick it up, put it on the next area, and hold it, hold it, hold it. Good, off. Good, done. I think you're done. Perfect, done, done, done.
Okay.
okay. So
He's going to be so happy. Just remember, slow down
Okay.
until you start getting to it. There you go. You want to approach really slow. Good. And just maybe a little bit on the.
So when you're treating skin tags, small or large, I just like to go through this again. You want to approach whatever you're treating slowly. If we approach too fast, it could be a little shocking to them. And the skin tags, you heard me say, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Many practitioners treat really quick and they might tap, 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 tap. Oh, that hurts, hurts, hurts. So touch the very top of the balloon, the skin tag, and hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Start to see the big dehydration go on. And then pull it towards you like at 12 o'clock, push it away from you like at 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. And that will ensure that you'll get the bottom of the balloon as well, including the stalk. So that's how you do a large skin tag. A whopper, no matter what it is, you'll be able to do it very efficiently if you work a little slower. I notice a lot of people do tend to work fast. And the slower you go, the faster you get done. Here was my other milia. I had the slides reversed.
This video, you will see some thick milia treated with a Skin Classic. We're using an F12. Our machine is on 20. And you can see that the pore was widened with the cold probe. When approaching the milia, our foot is on the pedal and we touch, insert to the sebum, come out, and then we take our foot off the pedal, stretch the pore, and evacuate. And it may seem like I am a bit rough on his skin, but he had super thick milia that was really embedded. So normally extractions don't look this vigorous. Again, touching, inserting, and now stretching the pore. That allows the size of the pore to let that thick milia out. That is the technique used throughout this nice man. And this same technique is applied to acne cysts. If there was an acne cyst under the skin, you stretch the skin, identify the sebum, and that is where your probe will touch, insert, and then come out. It is important to not tap milia. We only want one touch and one pore opened. If we do multiple taps, especially to milia like this, it will not take care of it. This needs to come out of the skin, and doing so with a wider pore makes it much easier and less vigorous on the skin. So even the super large ones are easily done. I generally, there we go. It didn't get all the way in there. And stretching the skin is the utmost important because you can see how the skin's moving around, but we want it as tight as a drum. Sometimes around the eye it may be a little difficult, but I finally did get it. And with large milia, most of the time you will be successful. However, I have come across milia that is super, super dry. Not many where I actually could not extract it. But these have been there for many years and cheesy like. So they came out fairly easy for him being an elderly gentleman. And again, if you were to use a lancet, the lancet may work for you, and to each their own. I just like this because I can really stretch the pore to the point where I can evacuate the entire milia. Normal size milia under the eye just gets one touch from me to dry it out, and I don't extract it. These were obviously very thick, very old. And yes, one of these days he's coming back to let me work in his ear. So we'll wind up doing that. But this was his first time in the chair, and it was quite a bit of treatment this day, but I did alleviate most of his undesirable milias, and he is quite happy. He was talking a mile a minute. It was hard for me to sometimes get these these moving targets. He talked nonstop. I guess that was some type of mechanism, but so that was a little something to deal with.
Okay, so I love treating thick milia like that, and that's exactly the way you'll treat acne cysts. So this is a really, really, really good video for those who want to treat acne to do it. And if you have a gold mine like this, then you're going to get lots of good practice. You know, if it's hit or miss and you haven't treated a lot of these things, it will take a little bit of finesse. But if you have a good client like this and they let you work on them, then you will become such a thick milia probe. So Jody asks, remind me please, can we only do skin tags above the waist? Well, the answer is yes, you can treat wherever you want, but below the waist, everything heals a little slower. So if somebody has some skin tags in the groin area, just know because it's humid down there, it gets friction down there. It will take a longer period of time. It may be uncomfortable. They may get like a little sore, but they can keep it dry with maybe a little cornstarch. And we basically like to stay away from the legs because legs do take so long to heal. Never do a capillary on the legs. That just would be not a good thing to treat. But if somebody did have a couple keratosis, things like that, not flat hyperpigmentation, but keratosis is something that is like shooting fish in a barrel, but it will take much longer for those to heal. I hope that helps there, Jody. Let's move on to what I love. And
this video, you will see some thick. In this video, you will see how the skin class.
Stop that. Okay, so I had some milia treated yesterday by Oksana and her crew. She's got 3 skin classics so far. So we were doing her 3rd training, and her esthetician was her first time, and I had about 10 milia. I haven't been treated in a long time, and she used this technique. So we get our handy F6 probes. And because they are so fine, and these milia, which there is a picture in our before and after book of what they look like before and after. So you can refer that to your clients when they want to know if you can really treat them, and they might have a bunch of them. You could treat them very easily and your clients will jump for joy. Now, I had a few treated. You might see a little bit of crusting here, in through here and there, but not much because the smaller the probe, the smaller the crust. So with the F6, that's the smallest probe we use, you can ensure that your client really won't have a rough time healing. And here we go.
Your hand up and readjust your stretch and turn her head.
How you doing, Colleen?
It hurts.
Okay, do you think I already did that?
Nope, you didn't.
And this was done during a training. Lindsay, I was out in Idaho a couple of years ago, and we would insert a tiny bit just to dry it up and be done. So we didn't go in and we didn't extract like the big thick milia. And this was Lindsay's very first time treating that day. So she's a pro already.
So now if you're going to work up close to the eye, pick this up, really pull down and just kind of pull that. There you go.
So having that heavy approach to the face really makes it feel
Larger one.
terrific.
Hang a little bit longer. Good. Should I hit it again? Sure.
Even though that area seems sensitive, we did not go ahead and use any numbing cream on this nice lady. She went on a cruise and came back, and she was Lindsay's. The pictures are in the before and after book. She healed beautifully, and but she had so many, and the full video is on our group thermolysis. So let me get over here. So the milia that is not requiring extraction is just what we did. So milia requiring extraction would be 20 with an F12, just like we did on that nice man. But when we do these small, tiny ones, like the ones that were done on me, it's an F6, a 20, and you'll just insert just till you see the bloom, till you see that white, and then you're done. And that will ensure that it will dry it up. They're small enough that they don't need to be extracted. And the trauma to the skin is pretty much nil. It's awesome the way that works. So if you're not treating milia like that, reach for your F6, insert till it blooms, and you're done. A large keratosis is a quick snippet of treating very large keratosis with the tag probe. So I'm going to get straight to this, and there we go. And so all of you out there that are using the Skin Classic or a similar device that have been trained by us, you know that this is our tag probe. They're milled here for us in the United States. It's 100% surgical stainless steel. I want to show you a video. I'll narrate and show you exactly how to use your tag probe with your Skin Classic on large keratosis. Now, here we go. Large keratosis can sometimes be found on the face, and you've probably seen this nice lady maybe in the manual. But when I get started with my tag probe, you'll see that I'm using almost like a plucking type of technique. I moisten it with witch hazel. They dry up very quickly, so you'll find that you'll dab more with your witch hazel on these thick ones. I'm creating enough pressure to actually get that high frequency to dehydrate it. I'm pushing a little harder. You know, when we treat flat hyperpigmentation, it is as light as a feather. This actually needs that point, needs to get into that keratosis so that it will dehydrate deep down. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing it a little lighter and maybe having to do a second treatment. But as you get your hands down as far as pressure, that will be up to you. Now, I like to try to do it in one session, and this fell off in about 10 days. So what I'll also do with these thicker ones that are really raised, and not all of them, is I will take the point of the probe and see how I'm going around the keratosis, sort of trying to lift it off of the skin. But I don't want to lift it off the skin at all. I want it to dry out, flake off all by itself. Remember, you're not in the business to remove these keratosis, but to treat them. I will show you as well how to remove it, because many of you out there are my medical professionals who we do train to remove. But estheticians, please stay within your scope of practice and treat, not remove. So I can see that this is very well dehydrated, and I will go on to the next. Oh, this one. Okay, so you get to see how to utilize that. Now, that is something I did not numb the skin, and she did really well. And that was done at one of my Skin Classic parties where I had probably 4 couples that were there, and husbands, wives getting treated all at the same time. So the original video is pretty noisy, and that's why I did the voiceover. But that was a fun party. Hey, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, great. So let me keep moving along here. So these are very easy to treat, even if they're that close to the face, but you must use your tag probe like a plucking or a shovel when you're getting that point into that all those dead cells there. There is a quick skinipit. And that skinipit and other skinippets like it are in my group, Skin Classic Masterclass. That's where you will find small minute type of videos that you can quickly go through instead of my long-winded trainings. This is a video of a fabulous guy that did pass away a few years ago, and just did such a great job with his clients. He's a PA, and he removed this keratosis. So what Randy was doing was just what I did on the face, but then he took it a little bit further. So you'll see that he did the touching technique, got that shovel in, shovel, 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 and he was a little heavier handed because he wanted to remove this in the doctor's office. So for those of you that do work with a physician, if this is something that interests you, you can. But I will be perfectly honest, and during trainings, I've had here a cajillion of them. We never remove them. I don't remove them myself. Some people love to remove them. When I'm over in the UK with my gals over there, they remove because they're allowed to. But what that does, it sets that skin up for more trauma with the sun or moisture. I like to leave that crust on, that whole keratosis, because it's nature's Band-Aid. So here I was trying to get him to go around, just like I did, but he went in a little further, and you'll see what happens. It's all good. See how the point needs to, you have to see that point kind of going away.
Straighten. That's it. There you go. All the way around.
So he definitely was a pro at this and enjoyed his practice. You're the best. Isn't that great? So, so they can be removed. And if you're in a doctor's office, and I have some doctors that have the Skin Classic, I have nurse practitioners, PAs. So whatever you do, you can. But for us professionals that don't send to pathology or don't have that ability, we can just dehydrate and they'll fall off in 5 to 7 to 10 days. So it's a short period of time for the amount of time that they've had them. So for those large skin tags or keratosis, yes, we're going to use our tag probe, and between 30 and 40. And generally, I don't need to up it. But if I'm working with, say, a very large skin tag, yeah, I might up it to 35 or 40 just to even start. And that guideline is on your laminated guide, and you can utilize that and go up a little bit if you like, if something is larger. I have some cute little videos on TikTok. So if you're not on my TikTok, go ahead and join my TikTok, RN Faces or Stephanie Gallo, Halvik. And you'll see a lot more green screening of explanation of treatments too as we go along. So near the eye as well. Again, skin tags are not advanced, but when you're working near the eye, they can be.
Witch hazel.
I did numb his eyes. And don't forget, I'm giving away a box of Neuromed BLT, $239 worth. So you can see
Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst.
A little higher, like maybe a 3 that time, but still nothing major.
Okay, great.
great. And I generally don't talk to my client
That's the
while I'm
hazel
doing this
over
too
here.
much.
Snapping a bit. You're being awesome. I appreciate it. You're not moving or budging. The duct tape helps. I'm just kidding.
He was a very awesome model. This whole video, each side only took what, a minute
I just
each
lost
side. And for a client like this, normally we charge $25 per irregularity, but this was a bit different. I used some numbing cream,
one's a
a
lot
little bit
smaller.
more finesse. So this would be $100 and still very quickly done. You could see on video, he's got a few more things that he had treated. He was just at the
I'm sure
dermatologist
you've been a good boy
and
this year.
asked
These
the
should be gone by
dermatologist
Christmas.
about the skin tags on the eye, and he told him he needed to go to an ophthalmologist where they would numb it, cut it out. And luckily, he found me. We were both Rotarians at the time, so I was happy to do this.
The last 2.
Well, good to know. It's good to be honest.
Yeah, they were much more tender than what anywhere else. So that's
Good. So he was awesome, and I did a really nice thing for him. Now, again, we don't want to remove, but again, I do have a lot of medical professionals out there, and I don't want to be remiss and not show a skin tag being removed. Okay, so before Kenny left, I just asked him if he had any skin tags, like I ask all my lady clients, and he said yes, he does. So we're going to help Kenny out with that today. He's got the skin tag under his arm, and we're just going to relieve him of that. So I have had my current adjusted on the machine. I use my 012 my tag probe for the tags. Okay, so I'm gonna wipe this off. This one definitely has a stalk, so we want to use our tweezer to distract it. Okay, Ken, you're just gonna feel a little heat. Seem to be okay? Does ouch a little bit, you can tell us that's.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, before I go further, when you distract a skin tag with your tweezer, if you notice my points are out in front of the skin tag, you don't want to grab the skin tag with the tweezer like this. You want to always have those points out in front. This way, the skin tag won't sort of disintegrate on you, and you can get a really good grip on it this way. So a Dumont tweezer is, I think, the best tweezer to use. The regular eyebrow tweezers don't work as well. You do have to grab the whole thing. This way you can get out in front of your skin tag. Now, the point that you see on my tag probe, that is the only thing that is hitting the skin. The sides of the tag probe are not sharp at all, and you don't use it like a cutting tool. You are just using the very tip of it to go through that skin where the skin is very taut. So that's what I mean by distracting it, pulling it away from the skin, and then using that tag probe to gently kind of saw.
Now he's had this for a while, right, Kenny?
It's probably been growing for about 2 or 3 years,
Okay.
maybe a little longer.
Okay. There.
So that is a simple, easy way to do it, but some people will bleed. And that's why another reason why we really should not be removing them in our office, because clients aren't supposed to leave our offices bleeding, band-aids, or anything like that. But my medical professionals love to treat skin tags with the Skin Classic. So that tag probe is ideal for that. Okay. So let's get to acne. I think this might be our last more advanced treatment. Everybody always wants to treat acne. If Sharika, if you're still out there, I know you were in the group just a little bit ago. We got to help her treat acne the other day during one of our online trainings. And so in certain states, you may not be allowed to puncture the skin or use a lancet. So if you're not, and this isn't the type of treatment for you, then so be it. But some of you can do this treatment. And again, my husband was the cameraman, same as in the other one. There's a lot of squeaking going on. And I do have an even better video coming up of exactly how to do it. But again, remember, when you're treating these acne cysts, it's just like treating that thick milia on that nice gentleman.
Occasionally, you have to clean the material off of your probe too. I'm going to stay methodically. I'm going to go through her cheeks here and see what I can help her with. So she's a little red in here, but she doesn't have anything really breaking out here. Now, I don't know, can you see that? Okay. Here she has a very active pimple. I'm going to touch it until something happens. You see a change, you see the sebum rise. Let me clean that sebum off of there. There we go. You okay, Melissa?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the pore is open. I'm going to slip this back into the pore. I'm not in the skin. I'm not penetrating the skin. I'm penetrating the pore. I'm stretching the pore. Now I will use my extractor just to help a little bit of that material out so that there's not as much pressure behind it. You okay?
Mm.
That's a really great technique to get deep down into the pocket. And I am penetrating the skin. I don't know what I was saying there, but yes, I have to get into the pocket where the sebum is with that first touch. And I got to do it all at one time. I can't keep trying. You get really one shot at that. You touch, insert, go in, and come out. So you got to have your guts up a little bit to do it. But when you do, that is the result that you will get. Let's see. And they're not all filled with
And
that
now I'm
much
just
sebum.
going to dry it up inside, in and out with the current on.
And I don't do that
You
with
okay?
every
Okay.
acne
And
cyst.
Melissa's had these done before, and she knows that just because I did that, that's the pressure is going to be relieved almost immediately, so that when she touches these, they're not going to be painful any longer. There's a lot of nerve endings down in where all that material is, and it pushes up against them. And some of these cystic acne pimples can be there for sometimes 3 weeks. When you do a treatment like this, they're usually gone within a few days. Is that right, Melissa?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you really do help your client with this type of. Now, even the ones, this one's not quite as white, but it's very hard, and that one hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like itchy too.
Itchy? Okay. So I can see where the pore is open, where it should open. Sometimes it's not always. I'm looking for the opening of the pore right now. Okay. You okay, Melissa?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'm going to go in through the pore again. I'm stretching the pore. Sometimes you get nothing out because there's more fluid in there, like clear fluid. So you don't want to over utilize it. I'm not going to push too hard. I'm going to dry that, and now I'm going to dry it up inside. I'm going to go in and out, in and out, in and out. And just
So you'll see that I don't get overly aggressive. If I didn't get that seed or didn't get a lot of sebum, I don't keep trying and trying, because sometimes you saw the fluid come out at first touch. And maybe that was all that was needed for that pressure to go away. If you know there is sebum, you could go back and stretch it again, but I wouldn't go and try to create another pore. So you just want to be careful with that. And again, if you have a client that has a lot of these, then that will give you a lot of working time on these more advanced treatments. So recently in my office, I
where the
think we did
sebum
this
is.
during a
I can
training.
see where I need to get my probe, and it's inflamed already, so it might ooze a little bit, and that's where that tag gel might come in handy.
Oh, okay.
But it'll be gone for her, and that's good news.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to give her a touch. Now I'm off the pedal. I'm going to stretch this pore. Oh, you're so good.
It kind of melted the sebum.
No, it just, what it did, it actually allowed it to create an opening for that cyst to be able to be relieved without it like shooting, I know, like across the room. Good. You're good. That'll be nice and flat now. Occasionally with these, yeah, that feels good. So occasionally, you're not going to stop any bleeding or anything, but what I can do is put some direct high frequency right in it to kill any further bacteria and help it heal quicker.
So if you don't treat acne, that's how I like to treat it. And I feel like I can really get my clients a big heads up on healing. It will heal like any other irregularity, 5 to 7 to 10. But if that had sat there for a long period of time, it takes like a month for it to either go away or the client starts messing with it themselves. So you really do them a great service by treating these. And of course, I think she came in for the training because she had a whopper. And so I knew I wanted to treat that during
Where the sebum
training if
is.
I could.
I can see where.
And just, I know I've had people that wanted to know where they can buy it. You can buy the Skin Classic on my website. It comes with one-on-one training in your facility. We sit down with you, 4 to 5 models, and you will do 99% of the work. And yes, we did win the 2024. This is an old picture, but I will make sure I update that. I think we're getting ready for our giveaways. So let me come up here. I'm going to start with an F12 first. Whoever out there wants an F12, I would love to see a show of hands. I'm going to be spinning, spinning, spinning for a box of F12s here. So when I call your name, make sure that you private message me your name and address only so that I can get that to my trusty assistant, Jackie, so she could get these off into the mail for you. Okay. So, how do you get the freebie? Oh, you're here. Everybody give me a thumbs up, give me a heart. Let's get going. I'm going to go ahead, and there is no wheel today. So don't worry about that. So let's go ahead. I want to go to the top there. Okay, so I'm doing this. This is what we're going for, the F12. I'm going to see where my arrow takes me. My arrow takes me to Eric Rico. Awesome, Eric. Well, Eric is in New Mexico. So, Eric, make sure you private message me your name and address. And you know what? Honestly, if you can have either or the F12 or the F6, whichever you do prefer. Let me know in a private message so I can send it off to Jackie. And remember, these F6s are super, super great for all of those tiny irregularities like the milia that you saw us kind of insert until it blooms. That is a perfect way. Also, what I love about the F6 is it's delicate. So even if you have some little brown spots, you can always, oh, great, Eric, you can always use an F6 to do some hyperpigmentation. It's so precise, so small, you can hardly get a crust. And your client will heal a little quicker because the smaller the footprint, the quicker they heal. So, so we're going to do this. Now I'm going to go. Let's see here. I'm spinning. Tiffany Albert. Well, Tiffany, so you can have either the F6 or the F12. So let me know in a private message just your name and address so I can send it off to Jackie, and Jackie will send you a box of F6s. Congrats. So now, and thanks everybody for all the birthday wishes. It was fun. And I'm hoping that today's broadcast will help you treat more of those uncommon irregularities. They're still epidermal, except for that syringoma. And you know, I have a big training on that. But I want you to be able to set yourself apart, to feel like you can do all of those big irregularities, things that maybe you think, oh my gosh, I don't know if I could do that. Yes, you can. And those acne cysts, how did we love that, right? That was just amazing. So try to work with those if that's what you like to do. I don't know of any other way to get to those acne cysts than the Skin Classic. But again, you know, sometimes, oh, thank you, Lisa. Thanks, everybody. It was really a great day. And I know I want you to eclipse your competition because you know the eclipse is happening today. And I'm going to be able to see it while I'm out on the golf course. And it's beautiful, sunny here. So all I got to do is get a pair of glasses. So now we're going to go for the Neuromed BLT. This is the numbing cream. Remember, you can mix this for each client. So it's non-prescriptive, and you mix it, you put it on for 15 to 20 minutes, especially if you're working around the eye. 15 minutes will do it. So it's a thinner skin. Any other place on the body, it could be 20 minutes, maybe a half hour. That's why I very rarely use numbing cream, because it cuts into my day. But when I do, I always use Neuromed BLT. This is $239 in my store. So, but I have it on sale in the store right now too. So you can go there if you like it. So, okay. So who's going to win? Let me get to the top first. Okay. And I'm all the way at the top. Okay. So I'm scrolling. Brenda Maddox, sorry. I do that. So Brenda, wow, way to go. So you're going to love this for any of those treatments that will be a little dicey for your clients. Feel free. I have video on this. You can just look it up in the group, in our thermolysis group, and you'll see a complete video on how to use it. So I hope everybody loved that presentation today. I love looking at big things, lots of milia and all that good stuff. So to all of my Skin Classic providers, trainers, and anybody else out there, thanks for tuning in. It was always a lot of fun with a great video and all. I love showing it to you. If you have any questions, put them in the chat box and I'll get them answered for you, or private message me, see me in the group, however you like to communicate. I will chat with you all soon. Everybody go out and have a great day, and thank you for those birthday wishes. See you.